Here now with reaction, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Project 21 Chairman Horace Cooper. Yeah, you know, as I was watching all the protests this weekend, Mark, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, okay, the same rhetoric we heard leading up to the campaign. They just ratcheted up a little bit more. They've added more slogans and a little bit more singing. And you got to hold up the bingo card at the appropriate time to be a real member of the Democratic Party. And here comes Jasmine, Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and I'm thinking, man, this is a dream leadership team for me. And Chuck Schumer looks like he's on his way out. How do you interpret all this?
Well, it does look like he's on his way out. And you would think after Donald Trump won in such a landslide victory in November that they would start to veer a little bit to the right. But instead, they've taken a hard turn to the left. And we see it not only with Congresswoman Crockett, but with their far west tour to the far left, when we start to see bringing in, as you mentioned, Neil Young and Joan Baez and a few others. The only thing more melancholy than some of their singing is actually their view on America. And when we start to look at that, Sean, they believe that socialism will win the day. And quite frankly, what we're seeing is Bernie Sanders passing the baton to AOC and others, and Chuck Schumer is going to be left out on the sidewalk looking for a different job as AOC takes his place.
And it was sort of like groupthink, Horace. We saw that during the joint session speech of the president. None of them stood. They wouldn't stand for mothers that lost children. They wouldn't stand for a young man that beat cancer. They wouldn't stand for the wife of a slain hero. They wouldn't stand for the president or the first lady. They held up their bingo cards. They did their thing. And Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, they wouldn't dare, correct me if I'm wrong, challenge this radical base of their party, because they know then their days would be over, you know, faster than you can blink your eye.
Well, let me say this. Looking at the montage that you just showed, my first thought is so much ignorance, so little time. What we are watching, the American people, is a party disintegrating. In so many ways, they are acting out. We're headed toward, in 2026, one of the largest self-owns that has ever occurred. And by the way, it's not just Jasmine Crockett. It's not just AOC. You got party members that haven't been elected that are going all over the country and keying cars in their neighborhood. You got this pitiful and sad rally that was held in the country where people had these little signs that were an ode to idiocy in how they expressed their thoughts. What this party should be doing is coming up with a plan, a vision, a direction that they can show the American people. Our founders made this country a country of self-government. But you can't let yourself get to the point where you have nothing to offer, because if you do, you will lose and you go out of existence.
We just heard from Speaker Johnson. Mark Meadows, are you confident, especially working with the arcane rules in the Senate as it relates to reconciliation, that the Republicans in the House are going to unite and get this done?
Yeah, we're going to get it done. Whether it gets done this week or gets done shortly after the Easter break, I do believe it gets done. You know, the stock market is looking at a whole lot of angst with Congress, and when you start to see that, full and immediate expensing brings those jobs back. I think that's part of the package, and so I think we start to get it done. But you know, but to the point made earlier, here's the thing: is the left, they're into getting rewarded for shock and awe instead of statutes and amendments. And so what we need to really look at is have a pro-worker agenda, and I think the Republicans now have embraced that fully under Donald Trump. That used to be Bernie Sanders' motto. All he has now is this tour, so hopefully we'll see some real progress this week.
Usually, like, Donald Trump was able to build off his base and build a new coalition. Democrats seem to be, isolating themselves more and more and pushing people away if even they were ever inclined to hear them out. Appreciate both of you.